Help me reach 500 subscribers. Give the video a like and drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. Thank you. The morning after the divorce, I woke up feeling lighter than I had in years. Not happy, not triumphant, just unburdened. Like someone had finally loosened a knot that had been lodged in my chest for far too long. I stepped into the small townhouse I'd rented a month earlier. For the first time, the silence didn't feel hostile. It felt deserved. My name is Callum. I'm 39. And yesterday my marriage officially ended. We had been together nearly a decade, and for most of that time we were running on routine, not love. She was beautiful, stunning even. But beauty doesn't matter when someone treats you more like an obligation than a partner. Somewhere along the way she traded affection for performance, warmth for criticism, and intimacy for a coldness that felt intentional. In the end we weren't a couple. We were two roommates judging each other from opposite corners of the house. So yes, signing the divorce papers brought relief, not because I didn't care but because I finally had permission to stop pretending. The next morning I stopped by the cafe across from my old gym. The usual morning chaos swirled around me, people in suits, people in hoodies, people rushing, venting, living, but for once none of it pierced my peace. I sat by the window with my drink and breathed. I knew she'd come looking for me. She hated unfinished conversations. Even more than that, she hated surrendering control of the narrative. And right on cue, 20 minutes later, her familiar perfume drifted toward me before I even heard her voice. "There you are," she said with that bright, calculated smile. "You look cheerful." "Morning, Ella," I replied. She folded her arms, leaning on my table, her eyes scanning me like she was trying to decode my calm. "So," she said, tapping her nails. "How does it feel? Freedom? Regret? Anything?" "I'm good," I answered. She blinked, thrown off. "Good already?" She laughed too sharply. "Well, I'm glad someone slept well." She wasn't here for closure. She wanted to confirm that I was hurting, that her leaving still meant something, that she still had power. "Actually," I said, leaning back, "yesterday was peaceful." Her smile faltered. "Peaceful? Really?" I shrugged. "Really?" She narrowed her eyes. "Then why do you look, I don't know, weirdly happy?" I smiled, genuinely this time. "Your sister came to see me yesterday." And just like that, everything in her face collapsed. Era froze. Her breath hitched, her posture stiffened, panic flashing through her eyes before she could hide it. "Arya came to see you?" she asked slowly. "Why?" I didn't answer. I watched her absorb the information, watched her attempt to pull herself back together, but it was too late. The confidence cracked. The control vanished. The mask slipped. "You okay?" I asked calmly. She swallowed. What exactly did she say? There it was, fear thinly disguised as curiosity. "We talked," I said. "That's not an answer, Callum," she snapped. "You're right. It's not." I set my cup down. She leaned in, tension radiating off her. "Arya had no right to stick her nose into anything," she muttered. "She didn't," I said. "She came because she thought I deserved honesty." Era blinked rapidly. "Honesty about what?" "About you." A flush crept across her cheeks, not embarrassment. Fear. Recognition. She already knew which truth her sister had finally revealed. "Callum," she whispered. "Whatever Arya told you, she's probably exaggerating. You know how dramatic she is." "She didn't sound dramatic," I said. "She sounded tired." Era frowned. "Tired of what?" "Covering for you." She flinched, her composure cracking like thin glass. "I haven't done anything that needs covering," she insisted. "Don't insult us both," I replied quietly. She opened her mouth, closed it again, struggling to find the right tone. Anger? Sweetness? Denial? But none of them would land. After a long pause, she whispered, "What did she tell you?" I let the silence stretch before answering. "That you'd been planning the separation long before you told me. That the counseling excuse was a lie. That you pretended things were reparable while arranging your fresh start." Her lips trembled, not from sadness but from being exposed. "And," I continued, "that you weren't nearly as confused about that guy from your office as you pretended." She froze completely. "I wasn't cheating," she whispered. "Not technically." "Technically," I repeated. "That's the word you want to use?" "I was lonely," she said weakly. "You were distant, hard to reach." "And he wasn't," I finished for her. She winced. "You told everyone I stopped trying," I said. "But it was you who checked out first. You just found a more photogenic excuse." A flash of anger crossed her face. So what? You're thrilled because Arya tattled? You think that makes you superior? No, I replied. I'm not relieved because of what she said. Then why? She demanded. Why do you look like you finally won something? Because yesterday, I said quietly, your sister apologized. Era blinked. She apologized to you? Yes. For what? For watching me shrink myself for years. For watching me bend until I nearly snapped. For watching you treat affection like a reward I had to earn. Era's throat tightened, eyes shifting away from mine. And then, I added, she said something I didn't expect. What? Era whispered. She said she was proud of me. The words hit her like a blow. It was the first raw emotion she'd shown in months. Proud? Of what? Of choosing myself, I said. Of leaving without bitterness. Of finally realizing I didn't have to beg for the bare minimum. Era's eyes glistened. I didn't want you to walk away bitter, she murmured. No, I said gently. You just didn't want me to walk away before you were finished. She didn't deny it. Arya didn't come to gloat, I continued. She came because she was tired of pretending your choices were accidents. Era took a shaky breath. So, what now? Now, I said, we move on. Separately. Peacefully if we can. And us, she whispered. We're just done? We've been done for a long time, I said. Yesterday only made it official. She wiped a tear, pretending it was nothing. I didn't expect you to be okay, she said quietly. I thought you'd be angry. Hurt. I admitted. But then your sister reminded me, I'm not walking away because I failed. I'm walking away because I stopped shrinking. She swallowed hard. She really said that? She did. A soft, heavy silence settled between us. I stood, took the last sip of my coffee and set the cup down. Era, I said gently. I hope you find whatever you were searching for. She nodded, voice faint. I hope you stay as joyful as you look today. I smiled, not out of victory but out of clarity. I plan to. Then I walked out of the cafe, leaving behind the ghost of a marriage, and the woman who finally realized I didn't need her permission to be whole. If you want, I can also,